Hello, Chris.
Hey,
Hey, welcome to the Photo Banter, man. How you doing?
great. How are you doing?
Pretty good, man. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Madison, Wisconsin.
Wow, man. Midwest. I like it, dude. I didn't know who was gonna show up on this thing, man. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah. I missed the first. Oh, that's so funny.
What
Did
do
you
you
see
got?
my video?
Like the background, man.
Oh man, it's so embarrassing. I was talking with my. We got like a little guy friend chat that we do every
I
Friday
like it,
during
man. Keep
quarantine.
keep the party going, dude.
Oh, that's so funny. It's like default. It default showed back up to my last background.
Nice,
Oh,
man.
that's
So, what
hilarious.
do you do out in Madison, man? Are you a photographer yourself?
Yep.
Cool, man.
Yeah, I am.
What's your website, man? I'll pull it up.
It's not updated, so don't judge me yet.
No worries.
But it's yupitschris.com.
What? Wait, what did you say it is again? It's Yup.
Yupitschris.com.
Oh,
So
wow, that's a
YUPITSCHRIS.
Chris. That's a cool one, man. I like that.
I thought it was kind of fun. The idea is like, I never say no to a good time. So
Let's
it's
see
always
here.
yup.
So, Yup, it's okay. I got you right here. Is it cool if I share it on the screen so people can see it?
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. Let's go here.
Yeah, like everyone, right? Working on the whole quarantine website revamp, and then
It's
I
a
got a
lot of
few
work,
jobs.
man. It's a lot of work. Just like resizing all your images and everything. I was doing it myself.
Yeah, I got a few jobs, and I'm waiting to have go live officially.
Yep.
They haven't said yes or no to them being posted yet, so that's kind of the wait for the update.
That's cool,
Wait for the
man.
client to say, yeah, go ahead, get it live, and then
So, what kind of work do you primarily do out in Wisconsin? What's kind of your bread and butter stuff out there?
mostly local-ish companies. Duluth Trading is probably one of my bigger clients.
Yeah,
They're
they're pretty big. What is that like? I've heard of that before. What is it?
yeah, they do kind of like they're like a Carhartt.
Oh wow, yeah,
Those
definitely. Yeah,
brands
I
you
have
can
seen that
like
now. There's like they have
work with.
stores and stuff.
Yep, yeah, they got them all over the place, but they make like a higher quality product. Not bashing Carhartt at all, but they
Yep.
make like a higher quality, like higher price point good.
Okay.
I do that, and then I deal with outdoor stuff. I'm a huge car guy, camping, bikes, things like that. So we got a few companies local from here.
Yep.
Trek Bikes is the one you're looking at right now.
Wow, Trek's based out of Wisconsin.
Yeah, they are. They're in Waterloo, which is like just outside of Madison. Probably like a 20-minute drive from me.
Yeah, that's really cool. I never knew that.
Yeah, so it's a pretty cool little city in the Midwest. We say it's kind of like our little bubble, the
Yeah.
rest of Wisconsin, it's either some rolling hills or farmland, and we kind of got the city and all that stuff.
That's cool, man. Like, how do you, because I think this thing, like a lot of people, like, who are trying to get work via like commercial editorial, like they're always kind of curious, like how you kind of link up with some of these clients, like with the Trek bike stuff. How did you kind of get your foot in the door with them? Being it's like a big company, so I'm sure a lot of people want to shoot for them. But how do you kind of get in there?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I started as an intern in their photo studio. They shoot all their stuff in house in Wisconsin.
Like
So
product and all the bikes and stuff like that.
exactly, yeah. So when I was in college, I went to Central Michigan University. I graduated with a photojournalism degree.
Okay.
And when I was like my last 3 years of college there, I was an intern at Trek. So I pretty much reached out to the creative director at the time and was like, hey, is there any way that I could get involved with the company in any way? And he's like, actually, summertime is crazy for us because that's when all of our new products come in. So the
Mm-hmm.
photo studio is just going off like crazy.
Wow.
So I went in there for those 3, and then I was able to do some really cool stuff.
Were they with like them? Because I've worked internally at some companies in their studios. With Trek, are they doing like primarily most of their photography in house, or like when would they hire other photographers to like shoot for them, like either like this kind of freelancers and stuff like that?
Yeah, mostly campaign stuff. They're in-house guys. They'll have one that's kind of like, I don't know if this is exactly the same as it is, but when I was working with them, when I was there as an intern, they had one photographer kind of like in the marketing section.
Yep.
And he would go around and maybe share, like at the time they were doing these things called Trek Bike Stories.
Yep.
So they were trying to like share stories about, hey, we got these sponsored racers. They race in California. They live out of an Airstream. They would send like their marketing photographer to go do that. But then the studio photographers were in-house studio all the time.
Yeah.
But if they had like a new bike launch and it was, let's say, like a lifestyle type bike, something like that, they would hire a freelance to do those.
Nice. And you are you a biker yourself?
I am, yeah. I don't
That's,
ride as much as I used to,
yeah.
but yeah, I still get on the pedal bike once or
Dan,
twice.
these are sick right here. These like track. What is this, like Colorado? We're looking
Yeah,
at these tracks and stuff.
yep, yeah, Crested Butte, Colorado.
Wow. So what's this? Is this like obviously someone has like built this out? So it's like, is that like kind of like a private track or what is that all about?
Yeah, this is public. So the ski slopes in the summer,
Yep.
most of them out there, to bring in more revenue when the ski season's down, they just create a mountain bike trails.
Damn, man. That's pretty sick. And
Yeah, I
that's
do that, and then I do. Cars are kind of like my other passion. Uh, we
nice.
have we have Kelly Moss, that Safari 911.
Oh yeah, I'll pull that
They're
up right now.
they're actually in Madison, and they build these like crazy custom Porsches.
Damn, man. I guess I didn't realize Madison, Wisconsin is like a manufacturing hub out there. Man, you guys are like putting out good product.
Yeah, it's real funny. You talk to people. I lived in LA for a couple of years,
Yep.
and people are like, "Why in the world are you moving to Madison, Wisconsin? Like, what are you going back?" I grew up in Michigan. They're like, "What are you going back there for?" I
Yep.
was like, pretty easy living. Like the pay is relatively well.
Yep.
You can buy a lot more for your money here. Everyone's pretty Midwest nice,
Yep.
and we got some cool stuff here. It's like a little hidden gem.
And that's the thing, man. Like, there's a lot of amazing photographers. Like, I've interviewed him, like Andy Anderson, a really successful photographer, and he's based out of Idaho, shoots a ton of
Yeah.
advertising, editorial. And it's like, there's definitely some pluses and minuses of living in LA or New York for sure, because you're going to bump into certain people in the business. But, like, at the end of the day, I think if you have like great work, like, it takes a little more legwork, but you can definitely make it work wherever you are at.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I graduated, like I said, photojournalism degree. I did some photo work for a couple of years, and then I started going the marketing route. I just got like a little nervous. I was young, didn't really know the whole freelance world,
Yep.
and ended up doing that for like 7 years. And then this last like year and a half,
Yep.
I quit and just went full time shooting again.
That's sick, man.
I'm still kind of like working my way up and trying to break out of like the regional and local type things and move with some bigger clients. And
Yeah, I
the
think it's just
podcast has been a huge help. I was like, I don't know if this is going to be a group chat or what, but I gotta at
nah.
least jump in and say thank you.
I've only, this is the second one I've done. I gotta figure out a way to like explain it better, because I think that's what everyone thinks it's gonna be, a group thing. No, but I'm just going like one caller to the next one. But I gotta figure out another way. But yeah, it's cool, man. Like, what's like the editorial scene in Madison, Wisconsin area? Is there much like like regional magazines or any like editorial kind of stuff out there?
Yeah, Madison has a couple magazines. There's Madison Magazine,
Yep.
and then they have like some local newspapers, and then of course like larger print pieces.
Yep.
I've done a couple things for them, but for the most part, I'm just working on like the brand side of things.
That's where you want to be, man. That's where the money's at.
Yeah, yeah. And it's like I kind of, when I first left like that full-time gig, I kind of was balancing like some consulting still for the marketing side before I
Yep.
jumped like head first in with photo. And then once photo started to get more kind of like reliable income, and I was kind of starting to balance out, I was like, man, if I had more hours, if I was doing less marketing, I think I could do more on the photo side.
Yep.
That's when I just kind of took that leap. And it's been
And
like
being like you're in the Midwest, can you pull work from like, I don't know, Minneapolis or like Chicago? Is that something you kind of marketing within that kind of area at all?
Yeah. So far, definitely yes. I've done a couple day trips down Chicago. Like Madison is, with traffic, maybe like 2.5 hours. You can be in the city center, so it's not too crazy.
Yeah.
Minneapolis is, maybe 4.5 or so.
Yep.
So yeah, it's been fun. I've met up with a couple agencies and done some stuff like that, and that was like fall, and then early this year, there's Land's End. It's like another big clothing company.
Oh hell yeah.
They're pretty local. I was working on a job with them earlier in the year, and then like COVID hit, and
Yep.
it's
Yeah,
been like 3 months.
yeah, it's kind of the same thing with everybody, man. It's like, that's why I kind of been starting this thing. I'm like trying to figure out, like, get a read of like what's going on out there. It's like, yeah, not too much work going on, little stuff here and there. I think more like photojournalism based stuff. But yeah, hopefully it starts to pick up here. How's like COVID been out in Wisconsin? Are like restaurants open up out there yet, or how's everything right?
Yeah, it's like I said, like the city that I live in it's we have a university here. There's a lot of like tech companies. Healthcare is huge.
Yep.
So I think people take it really seriously where I'm at.
Yep.
Which has been great. Like, we're one of the most populated cities in the entire state, and we have like, we're like the 6th like highest cases in the state, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, number 1. but yeah, so we've been doing a pretty good job of wearing masks everywhere. Things have started to open back up like as of 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
You can do, of course, carryouts, but some people are doing like 25% occupancy at restaurants.
Got it.
And outdoor seating now that it's not snowing anymore.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff has increased. But yeah,
Yeah.
people are kind of slow, and you venture up north, it's kind of a different breed up there.
That's cool.
There's a lot less no masks anywhere, that type of thing. But the population's also way smaller. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's kind of talking to everybody. I was like talking to my buddy in Arizona, and they're this like wide open, and then it's this kind of different state by state. Like I'm in Massachusetts, and I think they're just starting this weekend. You can do like outdoor seating at restaurants, but that's going to be like the first weekend they're doing that. So it's different. Yeah. Is it cool if I pull up your Instagram?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Cool.
For sure.
Boom.
Yeah, it's been feeling good. It's nice to kind of get back out. We did an outdoor patio seating. They had like every third table, and it was a pretty small, kind of intimate setting. And we did that a couple days ago, and it was pretty neat.
That's cool, man.
Yeah,
what kind of stuff are you doing for like marketing for your photography? Are you doing like print mailers, or mostly just kind of like email blasts, or what's kind of been working for you the last year or so?
Yeah, well, so far it's just been a lot of like sending DMs, interacting with brands on Instagram.
Got it.
And I'm working with some print promos right now. Kind of the idea is a lot of the stuff that I do, like I've done 5 shoots like post COVID, so like 5 in the last like 3 weeks.
Oh, just like personal, like kind of portfolio builders
for brands.
Oh, for brands.
Yeah, and the reason is like they heard through the grapevine that like I can kind of show up and do stuff without a lot of people.
Got it.
One I did, it was like a set of 4. We had like a stylist, hair, makeup, and just kind of like general help was one person. And then it was me, and then like one producer, and then the talent, one person. So like 4 total.
Okay.
We were able to knock that stuff out. And then, like yesterday I was at a farm doing kind of like some outdoor clothing shoot at a farm. And it was just me, the talent, and then, one person from the client side.
Yeah.
And no tethering, no nothing like that. Just kind of like, hey, we trust that you'll deliver some work. Super small footprint. So my idea for a print promo is sharing some of these maybe small footprint shoots.
Yep.
And seeing what that goes. Like, hey, here's kind of some stuff that I can produce with under 3 people or under 5 people or even just solo.
Yeah.
Seeing how that goes.
No, that's cool, man. That's good to hear you're working. So like you said, you just kind of reach out to brands via like Instagram and stuff. This like stuff you think that will kind of work for you.
Yeah, Instagram, email, LinkedIn. I like to do a lot of my research. Like I was working for an agency in LA when I was out there, so I made a lot of connections doing that.
Yep.
And just kind of like reconnecting with those people, reaching back out to those people. I'll throw together like a quick PDF or a 2-page PDF of some things that I think would relate to what they do that I've shot in the past, and I just kind of from there.
That's cool, man. Yeah, LinkedIn is a sleeper, man. It is kind of, there's a lot, I can't read it because a lot of it's just like, it's the same thing as Facebook. It's just like reposting articles of like random stuff and like whatever, but it is a good tool. Like I use it all the time just to see like, if I want to find whatever editor at the New York Times, like you can just search it that way and just figure out who works where, because it's usually pretty updated. A lot of people update it. But yeah, it is a pretty good tool.
Yeah, I've never done any like direct, like I never send like the LinkedIn in mails or whatever they are.
Nah.
But it usually just helps you get like a name of a person, and then I'll enter that into Google and try to find their Instagram and interact a little bit. Keep it a little bit more organic, a little bit more friendly, not as forced.
That's smart, man.
So far, that's been working.
Have you used like any of those services like Agency Access or anything? Like, I have like the list you can pay for and stuff like that. Have you tried any of that stuff?
No, like I said, since I just kind of jumped back into it, I've been on a pretty slim budget. Any cash that I've been getting from shoots, it's just been all going back into gear.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man. That's what when I first started, I wasted a bunch of money on like dumb shit like mailers and stuff. The way I've been approaching it is just like shoot work. Cause like, I don't know about you, but like more people look at my Instagram than they do at my website. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you can just keep that train rolling, I think that's the name of the game.
Yeah. It's, man, like you mentioned Agency Access, all that kind of stuff. Like I knew none of this until I started listening to your podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like all of a sudden one day, one of my friends, shared that one of his friends was on it that I followed on Instagram, and I was like, oh, sweet. That sounds awesome. Photo Banter. I got to check that out. And then like, I don't know, like 3 weeks later, something like that, just done all of it.
Yeah.
Like, up to there and that was like a year ago. So there was a lot of content.
Yeah,
That was
man.
yard work, had him in. Going to work, had him in.
Thanks, man.
Back, had it in.
I try to get better every day, man. But it's fun talking to everybody because it's like, as you know, man, it's a grind, it's a struggle, and just kind of hear everyone because everyone's story is different. And I've been in this like 12 years now. I'm still trying to fucking figure it out.
Yeah, yeah. It's really, it really is a valuable asset. I know everyone tells you that at the end, like, hey, thanks for doing this, but man, I mean, it really like steered me in the direction I needed to go to kind of like jump into things, without kind of jumping in the deep end and not knowing what was there. It was really helpful to hear the information.
That's cool, man. I appreciate that. What were you doing out in LA? Were you doing any photo stuff out there? Or? Whoops.
And everyone's stories and for social marketing for the Motor Trend Group, what it's called.
Oh, motor. Oh, that's like, yeah, you see it in the commercials and stuff. They're like Motor Trend of the Year award.
Yeah.
What do they actually do? I don't even know what they do, but you see it in every commercial, like five years in a row. Motor Trend,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, so they started as like a print magazine, and then it kind of turned into like a conglomerate. They owned, I mean, like I grew up skateboarding. I know you did too.
Yep.
But when I was there, they had like the whole like skateboarder, like they had all the surfing magazines were all under like that brand. And at the time, it was the Enthusiast Network was like the umbrella company.
Yep.
And it was just they had like 50 plus print publications plus all the digital side. So I was on the automotive side, which is just Motor Trend.
Yeah.
And then they got bought by Discovery right as I left.
Damn.
So now they have, like it used to be like Speed, and then it was Velocity on TV, and now it's Motor Trend.
Discovery owns a bunch of stuff. I didn't realize Discovery bought Golf Digest, like the magazine and everything. Like they bought it like last year or something. I was like, oh wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, so they came in and bought like everything that they own. So I was working out there on the digital side, doing like social media campaigns and stuff like that.
How was that?
Cool.
That seems like an interesting job. Like, how do you like? Did you like study that stuff a lot, or like? Because it seems like such an interesting. Because it is still such a new job, like social media manager. But it's really interesting. Like even like looking at like certain companies that do it well, and then like even this photographers, small businesses. It's really kind of interesting to see what people do with the tool.
Yeah, it was really interesting because it grew. You went from like someone like Ford who'd say, hey, we got this new F-150. We want to do a print ad in your magazine.
Yep.
They're saying like, hey, we magazine, we want to do ads on your social media channels. So then I would coordinate the two. Ford would come to me and say, hey, we want to promote our new F-150 on your Facebook and Instagram. And I would kind of build those packages out.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
And with your like personal like photo website, are you messing with like SEO at all or anything like that? Because I know it's some I've like I research it a lot, but it's still just like confusing like what you need to do. Like I know some people are really good at not against it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. It's like I'm on Squarespace right now. I'm thinking about switching over somewhere else. I don't know yet. Maybe like Photofolio or something.
Yeah, I use a Photofolio. I've been using it since they started. Like I want to say they started like almost like 10 years ago now. But their websites are pretty amazing. They're a little pricey, but I think it's worth the investment.
Yeah, that's what I think too. And if I can find something that's a little bit more like all in one and looks a little bit nicer, a little more friendly to use, like, I'm on board for sure.
Yeah.
No custom stuff. Just like I'll do custom enough to be like, okay, let's make sure the fonts kind of match, and let's make, it's got to be bigger, and it kind of looks good and works well. The thing that I don't like about Squarespace so far is just kind of like how my gallery is switched on mobile. And,
like when you're looking at a phone, they look kind of weird.
Yeah, and like the minimal people that are even coming.
Yep.
No website, they're doing it on a mobile device, so I'd like to be able to keep it as good as I can on there. I know they do it like automatically, but sometimes like you lay out, like I'll put certain photos next to other photos because they tell that story, or maybe it shows a detail of the photo before. Yeah. And then when you go onto mobile, it's just kind of gone.
Yeah. I will say a Photofolio is like, it looks almost basically the same. You can look at on your phone as a laptop. It's pretty much the same. So that's like one good thing about it.
Yeah. I think Rob,
Rob Haggard, the guy who started a photoeditor.com. That's like his company.
Yeah. And I mean, the photoeditor.com has been a huge help to me too.
Yeah.
Just with some of like their pricing and estimates and just showing the different print promos and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, man, if I could give back to that, because that's helped me out. Like I might
send him. When I interviewed him, because if anybody who sends him a promo, like literally anybody, he'll post it.
Yeah.
So it's like I've been thinking about it during quarantine. I'm like, damn, I'm trying to think of like an interesting promo. Like I don't even know what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Like
I
maybe
know.
send them like an orange with my name on it or something. Just
Yeah. Yeah.
something goofy that will stick
That's what
out
I
on.
was thinking. All I think in my head is like, how is this gonna look on Rob's site? You know?
Hey man, it will stick out.
Yeah.
That's cool though, man. So what's the goal, man? Like what kind of stuff do you want to keep working on? I know you like the cars and bike stuff, but what's on the goal list, I
I
guess?
do, yeah. The one thing, like the big thing, like being a photojournalism major, you kind of get into more like the storytelling aspect.
Yep.
And, I'm trying to do that on more of like the commercial side. So, thinking like if it's like a new four wheeler or a new something like that, instead of just like those crazy action shots,
Yep.
with like dust flying in the air and all this crazy stuff, maybe more of the story behind it. So, maybe a larger campaign of, okay, here's some people camping, they're around the fire, maybe
Yeah.
four-wheelers in the background, incorporating some of the people and some of the storytelling into, the larger client, larger brand things in kind of that outdoor adventure lifestyle type space, which
That's
is
cool, man.
pretty competitive. I feel like a lot of people want to be there, but I feel like if I'm an enthusiast in it, like if I love riding dirt bikes, which I do,
Yeah.
four wheeling, being outside, camping, all that stuff naturally, like it's like you skating, right? Like you can tell someone who can take skate photos because like they know exactly when, to snap, like to get the trick at just the right spot,
Yep.
not to be from the behind or like all those good angles, right? Like as an enthusiast, you just kind of know that stuff. So I'm hoping that me being in that space, like naturally lends to, more authentic photos.
Definitely.
So
Yeah,
that's kind of where
because
I'm hoping.
no, I think that's the way to go. That's the type of work I like because just keep it real, like real honest, like you're a part of that community or whatever it is. Obviously you can like, you know, style it a little bit if you need to, but like
Yeah.
yeah, that's the stuff I kind of react to more than anything. Because like with a lot of the car photography now, or like stuff like motorcycles, are they I guess I haven't really kept up with that stuff. I don't really shoot cars, but are they doing a lot of that like within like this computer graphics and stuff now, or are a lot of people still photographing cars and stuff?
Yeah, I think so. From what I've been seeing, and especially like getting targeted on things and just different podcasts and YouTube channels that I pay attention to,
Yep.
there's kind of like a mix of it.
Yep.
If they're trying to get a really cool shot, like they can do the entire thing like CGI pretty much, and
Mm-hmm.
get the exact angle, the exact amount of motion blur, the perfect reflections, all that kind of stuff. But then there's also, I feel like it's kind of like that overly photoshopped, overly edited look of the cars, where
Yep.
it's almost like a surreal kind of environment and like the colors are perfect. And that's not
Yeah.
exactly my style. You
Yep.
know, I kind of like them in being a little bit more natural looking.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's like a mix of both, right? Like you'll see maybe on an Instagram ad or like a Facebook ad or something where the car is in more of a natural environment, looks a
Yep.
little bit like less staged. And then maybe the big print campaigns or digital on like a website is that more heavily edited type stuff.
Yeah, it's like you said, you're trying to tell a story and stuff. And there's like so many companies within like cars and stuff. Like you could shoot for like Pennzoil, the oil company, or like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
like you almost gotta like go into like AutoZone or something and look at like all the stuff they sell that is like goes with that stuff. Cause all those brands they do campaigns and stuff like and it's all kind of related.
Yeah, I was trying to pitch like just at the end of the fall. I was trying to pitch an oil company actually who has like a bunch of like quick like oil change places around the country
Okay.
into doing some sort of kind of like Americana road trip esque thing to where I would drive from like one to the other
Yep.
and capture the people that work there because
Mm-hmm.
they're chains. It's like it's a big name oil company, but they're all individually owned.
Got it.
And just kind of like showing up, being there for a day, and just capturing the work environment, and a little bit on like the owners themselves, so that
Mm-hmm.
people kind of realize like, hey, yeah, it's a big name, but they're all locally owned, and like sharing the owner's story,
Yep.
and then also tying in me doing like a road trip through like the American back road.
Yep.
Um,
How do
so
you pitch it? Do you kind of send them like a PDF of like stuff you'd shot before, and then it's kind of like a little write up of like what your plan was?
exactly, yeah, it was like a 2-page PDF that was pretty, pretty scrappy. Just like it was 6 or 7 different photos of, here's like what an environmental could look like. Here's what like a portrait could look like. And then here's a few sentences on what I think the project could be and why I think it could relate with your customer.
And like, who do you send it to within the company? You just send it to like, because you said like each location's like individually owned. So
Yeah, I
so
found their agency that they work with
okay,
and sent it to their like whoever like their agent was for that account.
That's cool. And how was the response? Did they get back to you or?
Yeah, it was pretty good. They came back and said, like, yeah, this would be something great. We'll bring it to, they have like a grader board that kind of represents all the individual shops.
Yeah.
And we're going to picture that board. And then, again, like it was kind of Christmas came around, that whole holiday time, and things are just kind of up in the air. And then, I reached back out in February. They're like, yeah, let's try to get it going for spring. And then we didn't.
That's the thing, man. Yeah, it's you got to keep hammering, man. It's like, I was saying, I think I said it before, like there's like clients, like agencies in Boston. I showed my portfolio like 8 times before, like literally 8 times. And like that's 8 times going in person. And then like in between that, like emailing them. And then I finally got a job. So it's just like, yeah, it's just constantly like banging at it,
Yeah.
That's what I try to remind myself.
Yeah, it really is. It's funny. Like you get out there. I was, driving by and I seen a bunch of ice fishermen out on the lake. And like half the lake was still open water, the other half was ice.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of cool, So I grabbed my camera and just kind of went out, was snapping some photos of some of the unique ice fishermen. And this other guy comes up behind me and he's got like this huge long lens, like a 400, and his eagles will fly around where the open water is to try to get fish in the winter.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's a cool camera. And then he ended up being, like the head photojournalist for like the Wisconsin Journal.
Damn.
And just like such a nice guy. And then we've had coffee a couple times, and it's like you just kind of go out there, you meet these.
That's cool, man. Yo, whoops, still there, Chris? Hello, Chris.
Random people, you stay connected.
Cool. Well, Chris, it was real nice talking to you, man. I'm gonna go to the next caller, but I really appreciate you calling and listening. And I'll put your website info in the description. When people go on YouTube, they can check it out.
Okay.
But yo, man, give a shot another time. I'm gonna keep doing these every week, so I'll be around.
Cool. See ya.
Later. Hello.
Yeah, what's up, Alex?
Oh shit, is this Manny?
Yeah, man.
Wow, welcome to the photo banter, man. How we doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm happy to just hop right on.
I know.
See.
Manny, we're talking to Manny Jourdain. He's the owner and operator of Real Immersions, an amazing travel. What do you call it? It's not even a travel company. It's better than that.
Yeah, it's travel experiences. Let's call it that.
I went with Manny. I never met him before. I went to Cuba with him at the beginning of March. Life-changing trip, top notch. You ever want to go on a trip to Cuba? I think you're going to be doing some other ones. You're talking about going to DR once travel opens up. But man, how you doing, dude? How's life? It's been a crazy 3 months.
I'm doing pretty well, man. I'm just trying to stay creative, and I've been shooting a lot of photos, which is actually why I hopped on too. And
I know, man. You've been shooting the little 35. What do you got? A little point and shoot?
Yeah. I got my. I just was on eBay and I just got a little Olympus stylus.
Dude, it's so funny. Those cameras have gotten so popular, like in the last few years. Dude, I see people spend like bank on those cameras sometimes. Yeah, dude.
I got this one and then like instantly it went up like $100, and I was like, oh wow.
Dude, like 10 years ago, you could buy that camera for like $50.
Right. Yeah, it's been fun, man. How you've been shooting photos still too?
Yeah, I mean, work's slow right now. I'm doing little stuff here and there, like Rhode Island Monthly, and then this like licensing. I licensed a photo yesterday to this German TV channel randomly. They just hit me up. It was they licensed, that dude from Providence, that Judge Caprio. He's the guy. Yeah, photographed him, so they hit me up, but they use it for some TV show or something.
That's cool.
Other than that, man, I've just been trying to like, I don't know, stay busy, just kind of keep some type of routine,
Mm-hmm.
What's up with you though? Are you still working like with all the school shit, or what's the deal?
Yeah, I've actually been blessed to be working and like still super busy. So, definitely I think a business like my work is like feeling some effects with like all the things going on like financially, but still blessed to have a job and still, helping a lot of students out. And
are you just working from home?
Working from home, yeah, bought myself like a comfy chair. And just been like making everything comfortable. Like I added these like skateboard shelves in my room.
Yep.
But yeah, man, just staying inside. I'm hoping to do some traveling, to some new islands.
Oh, really? What's the next thing? Because like I've been reading, like I don't even like. I mean, going to the airport before was a pain in the ass with all the security shit and everything. I can't. Like,
right.
It's gonna be more and more now. Like they're saying you got to get like 5 hours before your plane and shit.
Right. They're saying some airlines are doing temperature checks before you get on. Definitely a lot of face masks. Some countries are asking you to have a COVID test before you enter the country.
Damn.
So I'm actually looking at doing that. So a lot of New York City, and like New York City's offering free tests.
Yep.
For a lot of like the people that live in the city. So I'm gonna take a test and hopefully head down to Antigua.
Where's Antigua?
And Antigua and Barbuda.
Oh damn! When do you think you're gonna go down there? Can you fly there now?
Yeah, you can fly there now. I'm hoping to go there in July at some point. So I've been recently making sea moss.
Yeah, I've been, dude. I will say, man, the one thing you gave me going on the trip with you, man, I'm working on it. The health shit, man. Like real health. I switched, dude. I got this app. I've been telling everybody about it. It's just called Quit That. Literally, all it is just like a stopwatch for any habit you want to quit. Say you want to quit, like you want to quit smoking cigarettes, or for me, I was like, I needed to quit soda. Like I was drinking soda, which is just fucking terrible for you. So I just type it in. I was like, on this date, I'm quitting, and you basically start the clock, and it tells you like how much money you're saving from not drinking or smoking or whatever, and it tells you how many days you're doing. And now it's just like I've been going about a month, no soda, and because I don't want to start the clock over again, because it's like every time I look at the app, I'm like, all right, man, I got like 30 days, I'm good.
Quit That. It's called. That sounds really cool. I'm gonna check that out.
It's very simple. Yeah, you just type it in. Like I said, it's literally just like a stopwatch. But for whatever reason, it makes, when I look at it, because I put it on the front page, like right next to like all the like,
competitive.
My Prime app. So I gotta look at it. So I'm like, don't fucking drink this shit. But yeah, I saw you've been making the sea moss stuff. What's that all about?
Yeah. So sea moss is just like it's a nutrient dense, mineral dense, like sea moss. Literally, it's like it grows in the sea. It's like seaweed.
Yep.
And you harvest it, and people grow it wild crafted in the sea.
Yep.
And you soak it overnight or soak it for like 6 hours. I rinse it, soak it. I put like a crystal in it. I put some lemons in it, and then you blend it up into a gel, and you can add it to your smoothies, and it gives you so much energy.
Really?
Like it's like it gives you it says that what people say, and they advertise it like this, is like it gives you 92 of the vitamins and minerals that your body needs.
I think because I think you wrote on your Instagram, you said it doesn't really taste like anything, right?
It's super bland, man. It's like,
because you posted you posted a jar of it today. Like, how much of that like will you eat? Like, do you just eat like a spoonful, or like how do you?
Exactly. So you put it in. I put it in my smoothies every day.
Oh, so you just kind of add it a little bit.
Little scoop, like a tablespoon every other day. A little bit is like a lot. So, I mean, the jar you saw on Instagram, that was like a 16-ounce jar.
Yep.
That'll last you a little bit over a month for a single person.
Where do you buy the sea moss from?
Yeah, so that's one of the reasons I'm trying to go to Antigua. So I'm trying to get the plug.
Yeah, but can you bring that? You can't bring like vegetables and shit over.
I'm gonna bring something.
That's like whenever you're on the plane, they check that card. Are you bringing back any? Like...
Yeah, we'll see. I'm gonna have to find a way to check it off, but yeah, like I'm gonna figure that out. But recently I've been getting it from like local places that ship it. So a lot of people get it from the Caribbean still. So recently, I think the last batch I got from Jamaica. But yeah, different places in the North Atlantic as well.
Yeah,
so it's interesting. I'm learning about it as well, trying to find like a really good source, like I said. But I've been taking it for about 3 years now. And
oh, really?
Yeah, I've been loving it. I just finally learned how to make it myself, and I've been going after it. So that's been fun.
Yeah, because you're vegan, right?
Yeah, yeah. I've been plant-based since December now. Yeah.
It's like I didn't realize it because like even just me like quitting soda, which was like my worst habit, because I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, but that was like my vice, and it was just a terrible habit. And
Coke.
Yeah, this like terrible, dude. You drink it at a meal, then you might buy a can. Before you know it, you're drinking like fucking 1,000 calories a day of fucking bullshit, and you feel like crap. And I noticed like now I've been about a month, and I feel like so much better. I don't feel like bloated and nasty and shit.
Right.
What made you decide to go vegan, and was like making that transition? Was that like tough?
Yeah, it's actually like my second time doing it. I think the first time I did it, and I was just like, oh, I'm just going to go to the grocery store and just buy like everything that is like vegan chicken. I buy everything with vegan on it.
Yeah, like
and
the Beyond Meat, the Beyond Meat burgers everyone likes, but then I read about it. It's like terrible shit for you.
Yeah. So I was doing a lot of that. Like I was like going to buy a bunch of Oreos and like to cheat and stuff, and like because they're vegan technically, but that didn't really last long. And then like recently, this last I guess 6 months ago now, I was just like, oh, let me just cook. So I'm actually working on like some brand right now just to create some more information around like my process into becoming vegan. But it's just been a lot of cooking, It's been a lot of cooking, a lot of preparing my own meals, just having a lot of fun like with the things that like I grew up eating. So like one of my favorite things to make is pastelitos or empanadas. And I'll make them vegan. So I'll add mushroom, kale, and I'll add some vegan cheese, and it's like this cheesy goodness.
It's vegan? What is vegan cheese good? So
I actually make my own sometimes. Like I made my own Alfredo sauce. It's just usually nuts. It's like nuts, coconut oil. Sometimes it's soy products. So like you can get it out of that. Like when I make it real good, I'll boil some cashews and then I'll like put it in my Vitamix. But it's just fun, man. It's kind of funny. It's like it sounds super weird, but I like being able to see all the ingredients that like my food. Like I've made mac and cheese from scratch, or like pasta
that's the best way to eat, man. It's just like one thing that I took away most from our trip to Cuba was just like how every day, like obviously we're staying with the local family, Modesta. Shout out, she's the best.
Shout out to Modesta.
But you don't realize they just eat real food. Where in the United States, it's just so much bullshit. It's just like preservatives, sugar, this garbage. But out there, it's just like meat, vegetables, and fruit. Like that's all you fucking need, man. That's all you're supposed to be eating.
And like just raw grains too. Like it is interesting, man. Like I feel like that's pretty much what it was. Like the processed foods. Was what I kept doing, I guess, when I first started being vegan. And then after that, like I just started doing like more raw foods. And it's like you're saying, like it's inspiring to like be around places like that where you're like, oh, we're just eating, and the breakfast is like everything from the ground, like pineapple juice, and there's like it's like fruit on fruit. You're drinking fruit, you're eating fruit. And I love that. I try to maintain it. I've been having a lot of smoothies, man. A lot of smoothies, a lot of juices.
Damn, man.
A lot of good mangoes. Yeah.
That's the way to fucking do it, man. Just keep it good. What else has been going on in New York, man? You been skating?
A little bit, yeah. I've been trying to go skate a little bit. There's a park I gotta check out up in the Bronx. They just built it in Van Cortlandt Park. I gotta go see that. It looks perfect. Like they have everything.
Yeah, New York's got so many spots.
Yeah, and they're building a bunch of parks. They got a bunch of skate spots, and my only thing right now is like, I've just been skating myself. I guess I've been like used to that, but usually I'll have the homies from Providence come through.
I know. I've been following Instagram. I love it, man. You'll be on like some like night mission. It's like I see you skating around, this like pushing and shit. I was like, I got to get another board. I bought that board and then I gave it away when we left Cuba. But I got to buy another one. I spent cheap fuck.
Yo, get after it, man. It's something to do. It's something to do. That's like the beauty of it. It keeps me active. I get a little antsy inside, but definitely skating.
Yeah, I got to get another board. Dude, Civil got the skate shop in Providence got fucking looted. That was so bad.
Yo, it was. That shit looks crazy. I heard a story about it, a rumor. And I was like, yo, is that true? Like,
bro, because I stay up mad late since like quarantine, so not much going on. I was literally on Twitter when all that shit was going on. And with the interesting thing about Twitter is like you get legit live news. I was like watching them get looted like live on Twitter, basically. It was so weird because it was like 2 or 3 in the morning. Because it was someone was just like filming it like while it's happening, like all that shit. Because they fucked up all of Westminster Street there. Like, yeah. But yo, hats off to the Civil guys, man. They put out that like thing on Instagram. They're like, yo, it's all good, man. We're with you guys. We get it.
Right.
So they weren't even like stressing on it.
Right. That was really nice. I even talked about it like with my roommate and just a lot of people out here. It's like that's like a good way to respond. It's like rebuilds, figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Definitely. It's funny, even through quarantine, I've been supporting Civil, just trying to show some love to like a lot of the local skate shops too.
Yeah,
just been buying a board here or there, buying some T-shirts, like trying to like show love like I normally would. It's been wild. I couldn't even imagine like shops like that are struggling, and then and still being able to pick yourself up and like keep the ball rolling. Like they're gonna be all right.
And a lot of these shops are doing good stuff. Like I saw Orchard in Boston, they raised like almost $23,000 over 2 days for like the Black Lives Matter shit, because they spent 2 days. They just donated everything they sold online. Just went to the Black Lives Matter
Wow.
organization in Boston. A bunch of other shops were doing it too around the country and stuff.
Yeah, man, that's a huge impact, yo. It's like so interesting to think about like the impact that like skateboarding can collectively build. You know, that's powerful. I think a lot of companies are doing it. I've seen a lot of companies create something, you know, some sort of fundraiser or some sort of like at least awareness to what's going on. It's that's been kind of definitely a lot of noise, a lot of movement going around with the Black Lives Matter movement in New York City.
I saw you went to some of the protests. I saw you guys, the protests, I think last week, you guys all dressed up in suits and stuff, and
right,
it was like somewhere in New York.
Yeah, so it was in Harlem. It's funny, it was like in Vogue, like the other day I read it, but it was like a bunch of, it was invited, I mean, anyone could show up, but it was advised that like men show up in suits, or a shirt and tie, dress up as their best. It was the same day, the same time as the memorial service for George Floyd. So we were there just grieving and paying respects and sharing our condolences, like, I guess, virtually. But it was a nice walk, man. It was from 125th all the way to 96th Street on the east side. It was hot. But you know, we sweat through it and enjoyed the rest of the day, which was great. But it was definitely great to like be with a group of people.
Yeah, what was the vibe? Because like, you know, like watching like cable news is like one thing, because they're gonna have like their angle on whatever's going on, but to actually like go to the protest, talk to real people, and kind of be around it. What was kind of the mood, I guess, like with the people you kind of interacted with?
Yo, as soon as we got there, I saw so much like just compassion and sharing and like just organization. You know, I work in education. I'm not necessarily trying to like, I'm with it. Like, I'll break something, but it was really peaceful, man. We weren't doing anything. Like, it was really peaceful. We were walking and just chanting, honestly, just yelling. And it felt, you know, you could feel a collective, like a feeling of pain. But it was also, you know, there was a lot of people supporting us through their homes inside that weren't maybe able to step outside because of COVID or that fear. You know, it's definitely hard to yell with a mask on, but you know, I saw a lot of people handing out waters too and snacks, since it was super hot, and that was really cool. That was really good collective action, I think, just to support the movement.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, man, because they've been going like every day since it happened, like over 2 weeks ago, and this like I've never seen anything like this in my lifetime. It's like pretty powerful, man. Like hopefully a lot of people doing positive stuff, so hopefully we'll see like a positive change, you know?
Definitely. I'm hoping so too, man. I think it's might come, you know, it's election year too, so I feel like people are just creating noise until the things actually take action with the voting. So we'll see what goes on with that. I've been trying to tap into that. We got like our primaries coming up in New York as well.
That's cool, man. Well, appreciate you calling in, man. It was cool. I had a couple people calling before us. Some guy from Wisconsin called in, then like some dude that's like a dog photographer. So it's an interesting mix of people, man. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'm happy I got to call in. I got to see what you're up to, man. I wish you the best and like have mad fun with this.
Yeah, we gotta hang soon, man. Once all this, like, hopefully this Corona stuff kind of
bro,
chills the fuck out.
We'll be up there soon, yo, and we'll gotta plan a skateboard trip to Cuba.
Yeah, well, they're talking October for that festival thing, but who knows if that will get pushed back again? Because if it doesn't, I'm down with that.
That'd be sick. Yo, we'll see. I'll definitely gotta just stay tuned on that. See what's happening, man.
All right, Manny. Well, thanks for calling in. You have a good night, bro.
All right, you too. I appreciate you.
Peace.
Take it easy. Peace.
Later. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, welcome to the Photo Banter. Who's calling?
My name's Fred, not Rachel.
Okay, Fred. How's it going, Fred?
It's okay.
Where are you calling from, man?
I'm in Littleton, Mass.
Okay, not far from me. I'm in Franklin.
Sorry.
No worries, man. So you do photography out there?
I do.
Nice, man. What kind of stuff do you work on?
I primarily do pet photography.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. How long have you been doing that for?
A while, 10 years, 12, something like that. I had a book come out a few years ago that did pretty well for me.
Oh, really? How does that kind of work? So you how do you market that type of photography? I don't think I've ever talked to a pet photographer before.
Sorry.
No worries, man.
It's a lot like portrait photography
All right.
with pets and people who love their pets. Like, you know,
Oh, damn, that's right there. Is that your dogs?
there's dogs that I photographed. That's my dog.
Oh, nice, man.
That's Iggy.
What made you kind of focus on that? Like when did you kind of realize you wanted to focus on pet stuff, I guess?
Well, when we got our first dog, Toby,
Yep.
I would always go to the dog parks and take lots of pictures.
Yep.
And at that point, I started doing a little research, and I found out there's this thing called pet photography.
All right.
I had no idea that was even a thing. But I mean, if you kind of look at, like, you could go all the way back to like William Wegman, right?
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
for sure.
right, the pinnacle of like fine art pet photography stuff. But so and I found a lot of other people who were doing it, and decided that, like, if there was one thing that I could do with my photography, that would be it. My
That's cool,
background is fine art photography, and from the point of view of, like, I go take pictures and I hope people like it.
Yep.
But to actually have a focus on my work, to be focusing on pets.
Yeah.
Um,
How's the pet photography business with I mean, as you know, photography business right now, all businesses right now are pretty tough with all the corona stuff and whatnot. Like, have you still been working at all, or what's been going on with you lately?
no, I haven't been working.
Oop, lost you there, Fred. Hello.
Sorry,
Sorry, I lost you there for a second, Fred.
technology. It's terrible.
It's all good, man. No worries.
Um,
Boy, you were saying you haven't been working too much lately, just with all the corona stuff and everything going on.
yeah, I have a small studio, and my kids have been home from school, so
Yeah,
I'm around them a lot. They come to the studio to do their schoolwork,
no doubt.
so I've
The
kind of
juggling
put
act.
everything down and been doing a lot of just helping them. My wife's an art teacher, so we've been doing a lot of video projects.
Okay.
I set up a downshoot thing so she could do Zoom projects with her kids,
Yeah.
because she teaches elementary art.
That's cool, man. You got a website for your work?
Yeah, fredlevyart.com.
Fred Levy. Is it cool if I pull it up on the screen so people can see it?
Yeah.
Cool, man. Be cool. Fredlevy.com.
Fred Levy Art.
Fred Levy Art. Got it. One sec.
Fredlevy.com is some child psychologist who's had websites since the early 90s.
Hard to get that domain, man.
I know, right?
Let's see here. I'll pull it up. All right. Let's see. I gotta share it. Fred Levy. Let's see. All right. Cool. So do you mostly do dogs, or you do like all different types of animals, or cats and whatnot?
I've done cats, I've done horses, I've done some humans, but not a ton of them. I just photographed a bunny actually this last weekend.
That's cool, man.
So
How do you approach shooting dogs? Is there like one breed of dogs you find are harder to shoot than others, or how do you kind of? I remember when I was a kid, we brought my dog to I think one of those pet stores where you could bring your dog in, like in the evening, you pay whatever amount of money and you can get some portraits of your dog. And my dog went crazy, man. It jumped off the little portrait studio thing and was
Nice.
Running around the store and everything. So it was like chaos.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. No, I think it depends on the dog, and a lot of it really depends on the owner.
Mm-hmm.
If the owner's really high strung and nervous,
Yep.
or just putting a lot of anxiety energy into the room,
Yep.
then the dog picks up on that, and then it's really hard to work. So I really try to get the everybody to stay calm.
Mm-hmm.
When I do a session, I usually try to I don't put a time limit on it because sometimes the dogs need a little bit of time just to get comfortable.
Yeah.
So it depends on the dog. It depends on the owner. It depends on.
I like your website. You got it broken up into 4 legs and then 2 legs. That's hilarious.
Yep.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's cool. That's cool. So like some of the people they just want portraits of their animals, but then it looks like you do some like portraits with the people as well, kind of together. So it's a kind of mix of kind of portraits with the people and the animals and stuff.
I'm not opposed to the 2-legged variety.
Yep.
I just prefer the 4-legged.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate people who have pets.
Yep.
Because if they have a pet, then they understand that the world does not totally revolve around them.
Yep.
If you have to pick up if you have to pick up your dog's poop, then you have to. The world isn't totally insane.
Yeah, I get it, man.
You really can't tell right now.
Yeah, I love dogs. I don't have one right now. I had one growing up, but like, it's a big responsibility, and even it's a lot of money. Like my buddy has a dog, and he just had to spend like $6,000 on surgery like 2 months ago, and I was like, man, I don't know what I would do right now if I had to get some like $6,000 bill out of the blue. It's a lot of money and time.
It is, and I mean there are like you can get pet insurance now.
Yeah.
For things like that,
mm-hmm.
But it's hard, and it is an expense. I mean, it's not like I'm going to have a dog and everything's going to be great. So you got even just like vet bills and food, and if something does happen, like your dog eats a ball and then has to have surgery.
Yeah, for sure, man.
What's
this project all about right here? Is this the book you were talking about, the Black Dog Project?
Yeah.
How did that kind of come about, and how long did you kind of work on this project for?
It started in 2014 or 13 actually.
Yeah.
And it started from a conversation at the dog park where this woman was talking about how black dogs have a harder time being adopted than other dogs. So I was looking for a photo project to do anyway in the studio.
Yep.
So I, get better at my studio shooting.
Yep.
And I thought, well, I'll give myself the challenge of photographing black dogs against a black backdrop.
Yeah.
And it went crazy viral on Huffington Post.
Oh, wow.
So, a publisher contacted me and we ended up with a book.
That's amazing. How did you get it on the Huffington Post? Were you like sending it around to different publications and whatnot, or did they just kind of picked up on it on social, or how'd that kind of come about?
They had a section, I don't know if they still technically have the section called a good news section. And this woman kept showing work of different like dog photographers.
Yep. And
so I found her on Twitter and I said, hey, if you like her project, you should go look at mine. Cause I had a Tumblr page for this. Mm-hmm. And cause if it did go viral, I didn't want it to like take down my website. So I figured put it up, make a Tumblr page.
Yep.
So I put the pictures up there and I showed them to her and she interviewed me. It ended up becoming the most shared page on Huffington Post that day.
Damn. Yeah, people love dogs, man.
They do love their dogs.
How did that I've never worked with a publisher. I've never done any books or anything like that. I've like had friends and everyone, it's kind of a different experience for everybody. But how's that kind of experience working with a publisher? Was it a long process? Anything you kind of learned from putting that book together, I guess?
At like when it was first started, it was definitely felt like a very long process because it went from, early 2014 to it came out in late 2015.
Yep.
So to get from like final photos to they actually designed the whole book and put everything. All I had to do was take the pictures.
Got it.
And it was kind of short term. Looking back, it was a great experience, but it was definitely I always thought of it as a marketing project than it was a like financial project. I made a little bit of money, but really it was like they did all this work of putting this really nice book together with my photographs. And then I have a book that now I can show to people and give away and do whatever I'm going to do.
Yeah, it's really hard to make money on photo books. Even like even I think that's a lot of people don't realize, even like some of the bigger guys who are doing like, because of the expense, and then you're especially working with a publisher, they're
Right.
taking a large cut of it, so it's very hard. But like you said, it's like a promo piece, and it kind of gives you like what do I want to say, like
A little
like
cachet.
yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Right.
that's cool, man. No, that stuff's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, so did you go to school for photography, or how did you kind of get into it?
Yeah, I went to the museum school for masters, and I came from California. I was doing since high school, and I went to college and grad school all for photography.
That's cool, man. What were you shooting back then? Was it always just dogs and stuff, or?
Oh no, dogs didn't start till after all that. I did all kinds of stuff, from like large format architectural photography to fine art stuff to a lot of digital stuff a little bit later. I spent most of grad school walking around with a Polaroid 665 camera.
Oh, nice.
5 positive negative
Yeah.
film.
Too bad you can't buy that stuff anymore. It kind of stinks.
I know. When all the film things fell apart, like when Polaroid went under, and then Agfa film was like the film that I was shooting.
Okay.
Like that all went under. I'm like, I'm just gonna like go digital. And
hey, that's a lot of work, man.
I sold my medium format and bought a Canon 5D.
Okay.
That was my first camera, my first digital camera, and I've been shooting digital since then.
Was that like a hard transition for you, kind of going from being that you shot films for so long, just kind of switching to a format?
No. I think with the Canon series made it where it was a accessible 35 millimeter format.
Yeah.
So because it had the same size sensor as traditional film.
Yeah.
So thinking about lenses, thinking about depth of field, thinking about those kinds of things. Where I mean, like today, if you were buying a camera, like the crop sensors, all the lenses and the cameras and everything are built around that. Where in the starting of digital cameras, it was let's see if we can dig this traditional film lens and stuff it onto the smaller body camera, and make it work. So like
that's cool, man. Well, yeah, I really appreciate you calling in, Fred. I got another caller. I'm just gonna jump from caller to caller, but I really appreciate it. I just kind of started doing this, so it's kind of interesting to see who showed up, man. So I really appreciate it, and I'll put the link to your website and stuff when I upload it to YouTube, so people can check out more of your work and stuff. But I really appreciate you calling in.
Hey, thanks. I was just listening to your podcast, and I saw you were doing this today, and I'm like, it's 7 o'clock.
Hell yeah, dude. I'm going to start doing them every week, so call back in, man. We can talk more dogs.
All right.
Later, Fred.
Good talking to you.
Later.